G'day, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to GameStar TV. I'm your host for today, EJ, and I'm going to pass it over straight away to Xenox and the panel to preview Match 2, I should say, coming up here in the eLeague.gg GameStar Spring Series Division 1 Grand Finals. Over to you, Xenox.
Thank you very much, EJ. So heading onto the panel now, and I will be joined by Genome and Gaima. Genome, we do get a bit of a break, I guess, for this game after such an incredible game between Aftermind and Skyfire. But we move on pretty quickly to the next game, 1 versus 4th, Tempo Storm versus Masterminds. We're going to be heading into Watchpoint Gibraltar to kick things off. What's your prediction for this map? It's a map that we don't see too often.
No, we don't see it all that often. My prediction is that we might actually see a Widowmaker come out, especially from Jimeb. So Jimeb, actually, I'll put a caveat in there. I'm not sure if Jimeb is going to be playing DPS, actually, because so Tempo Storm, they've got one player away today. Termo, who's usually their Zarya player, is gone. So I'm not sure who they're going to be moving on to that flex spot. It could be Jimeb, or it could be one of their other DPS players, Yuki or Heikati. With the Widowmaker changes, though, I really think she's quite good on attack here, and even sometimes on defense, you can get up on that shuttle. You can be all the way back on that first point, and there's lots of long sight lines on the third point as well. So I would love to see her come out. She's got a bit of a buff recently and has been unloved for quite some time now.
Well, you just mentioned Yuki and Heikati. It's the first we're going to be seeing of them back in the Australian scene for quite a while. They were, of course, went over with a couple of other teammates and with a couple of others for the World Cup for Team Australia. Then they, Heikati and Yuki, both stayed to join the Tempo Storm NA team for a few tournaments, for a few games. They are back now. And I guess for Tempo, losing Termo is just a bit of a kick in the guts, though. Gaima, how big of a loss is Termo, and can Jimeb fill those shoes?
It kind of depends what lineup they try and play, because back when Jimeb was in Jam, he did actually play a bit of Zarya. And so if Tempo Storm played sort of comps with the Zarya in that flex role, which Termo would usually take up, then I think they shouldn't be too affected. But you never know. Sometimes the little loss in synergy, which you get from missing a player, can be the difference in these finals matches.
It could be indeed, and I guess having a look at some of the recent results for Tempo Storm, the last time they played Masterminds, it was 2-1, so Masterminds were able to take a point off them, and that was back when Tempo Storm still had their full team as well, so interesting result there. Tempo Storm actually lost to Aftermind 2-1, but they had a lot of subs in their lineup for that day due to the World Cup commitments and some of those NA tournaments, and Tempo Storm beat Skyfire 3-0, so Tempo Storm definitely coming in as favourites, though, Genome, and even without Termo, should still be looking like favourites.
Absolutely favourites. Regardless of Termo, all 5 of their other players are the best, if not, top 2, top 3 in their slot in Australia. These guys are the guys to beat. Now, Jimeb, he was also one of the absolute top-tier players in Australia. He's taken a bit of a break though recently. After he left his last team, Jam Gaming, he didn't play for about 2 months, I think it was, or at least not very much. So we'll have to see how his level is at the moment, because I'm a bit worried that he might be a little bit rusty going into this game.
Well, rusty, I guess, for Yuki and Heikati as well, coming in because of the fact that they have not played with their teammates for quite a while, having played with the NA team as well as the Overwatch World Cup. They haven't really even been back for that long. I know they've done a couple of scrims since coming back, but do you feel like that could impact them a little bit, Gaima?
It might do, but then again, there's also the factor that they've been practicing against those North American teams, who some would say are of a higher quality, which means that you should expect them to be on a high in terms of practice, even though there has been a bit of travel for them. But it will really depend how much Tempo Storm has been scrimming lately. If they've been scrimming with Jimeb in, with Yuki and Heikati in, then I think they shouldn't have too many issues. But if they haven't practiced much with this specific 6, then they could be in trouble.
Well, let's have a look at Masterminds. They've had some changes in rosters. We've got Stoltz in today, as well as Twiggy. Of course, Rack departing the team. They've had some interesting results, taking a 2-1 loss to Skyfire, a 2-1 loss to Tempo Storm, and the big one that happened just 2 weeks ago or a week and a half ago against Aftermind, losing 3-0. So they've got the worst record coming into this finals from all 4 teams. But they've got one of the better records against Tempo Storm. So it's kind of, I guess, strange in that way, Genome, how some of these things can work out.
Yeah, so the results, I think, paint a bit of a picture that's perhaps not exactly matching up to reality. I think that the fact that they got a map off Tempo Storm is great for Masterminds, but I think that's probably the most that you can expect of them here in this best of 3. One map would probably be a great result for them. It would probably make them feel like they've got a really good chance against Aftermind or Skyfire if they come up against them next. But yeah, you absolutely got to give it to Tempo Storm as the last one of them gets in the lobby here. Hey, Katie has joined us and we've got a match on our hands, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, we almost have a match on our hands, just waiting for that spinning circle to complete and get Hey Katie into the lobby. Final predictions, I guess. Gaima, Masterminds, Tempo Storm. Is it going to be I don't want to say is it going to be a 2-0, but looking at these 2 teams, have Masterminds got a chance?
I don't expect Masterminds to take any maps in this series, simply because we're not looking at a King of the Hill, nor are we looking at a 2CP. Both of those would be where I think that Masterminds would have the potential, but Tempo Storm, they're so clinical that it's going to be really tough to beat them on Gibraltar and 66. So I have to give this 2-0 to Tempo.
Genome, your predictions for this series between Tempo Storm and Masterminds?
Yeah, I'm giving it 2-0 to Tempo. I think that they might struggle against Aftermind. That's going to be a very interesting game. Can't wait for that one. Against Skyfire or Masterminds, though, I think they will absolutely outclass them.
I'm going to have to say 2-0 for Tempo Storm as well. I just feel like there's just too much mechanical skill, too much class, and even with some time away from the likes of Hey Katie and Yuki from the rest of the team, and even without Turbo, they are still the premier team in Australia, and they've proven that on the big stage as well, playing in teams like the NA Tempo Storm team with Hey Katie and Yuki, and playing in the Overwatch World Cup. Just waiting on Hey Katie to come in, of all people. Is that Hey Katie we're waiting for? Yes, it is. So I guess moving on forwards, having a look at, say, the losers bracket, if Masterminds is to lose here, Gaima, and have to play Team Skyfire, will they have a chance against Skyfire considering the previous results?
I think that they may, but it's going to be tough for them because Skyfire is such a quality team. I mean, we saw them almost come out over Aftermind, and we know how good Aftermind is, so you've got to expect that Masterminds want to... Their ideal probably is to do as well as possible in this one so they can have the mentality going into the next one.
Oh, Hey Katie is finally in. Ready checks underway. I will be throwing it over to EJ and Dr. Nutter. EJ, you're the lead commentator, but before I do that, a shout out to our lead sponsors for this tournament that we are putting on. I'd like to thank Zowie, who strive for perfection, Split Media Labs, whose products we use, XSplit, Challenge, Player.me, and Plantronics, the lead headset provider for GameStar. EJ, the lead commentator, take us through this game.
Oh, I'm very excited for it, and thank you, Xenox and the panel. We'll see you at the end of Gibraltar to break it on down. I'm joined for this match by Dr. Nutter. Welcome to the broadcast, Dr. Nutter.
Yeah, great to be here. Great to see these 2 teams go against each other, and really looking forward to seeing Tempo Storm with Jimeb, and if he will do, if we'll see if he'll actually play this Xayah or flex play, because right now we're seeing a little bit of a drop off in that Xayah with that recent 20% nerf to that energy that she gains off her shield. And whether he plays that Xayah, whether we see him on something like a Diva or a Roadhog, whether this flex play ends up being a true flex instead of just a Xayah main pick.
And with Jim Ebb, by the way, and shout out to Kid Fox, who can't be here today, and we had a Jimmy B chant go out in the Twitch chat. So Jimmy B for Kid Fox, Jim Ebb to the rest of us. I think he's in for a potential for a fairy tale Overwatch season, so to speak. I mean, he was caught up in the shenanigans that happened in week 1 and was out of the competition, for want of a better term, when his team booted him. But it's good to see him back in a team here as the sub with an opportunity to actually play through to the final. So who would have thought he would bookend his season with this opportunity? And I guess with Masterminds Stoltz becoming a permanent member for the team, that's strengthening their lineup as well.
Yeah, great to see Jimeb, who get caught up in that bit of a fiasco, now playing in the finals. It's great for him. He's such a strong player. He has been away for a little bit. He's been off playing World of Warcraft, a bit distracted, but he's still such a strong player. Seen him play recently. We saw them play against Aftermind. They did lose to Aftermind, but we did see Jimeb still go quite big on it, and we'll be interesting to see if he's had a little bit of practice since then, because he, as I've said, just been away for a little bit. Now playing against Masterminds, Stoltz, new pickup, new addition to their team, did great job with playing with Running with Scissors in Division 2, moving up to now play in the finals of Division 1. Really good job from him. Amazing hit scan player. And not sure about Twiggy's been picked up. They're still trialing main tanks, but Twiggy's been playing with them a little bit, and he's doing such a great job for them as well.
Doctor, we are entering the map. First map is Watchpoint Gibraltar. And take us through it. What's going to be the keys to success for Watchpoint Gibraltar?
I think we're definitely going to see some soldier play here. They like to play up on that high ground. We'll be interested to see which team does it. We've got Hey Katie, who's an amazing hit scan player. We usually see pick up that Widow previously. He's a great soldier. He'll probably be playing up that high ground side at the back, maybe with an Anna up there as well helping him. And it'll come down to what Masterminds does about that. Do they run their Genji to jump in? Some teams like to run a Winston and Genji to jump straight on top of that combo, take them out early, and it can come down to whether they either collapse on them or whether they collapse on the people playing that low ground. It's a lot more difficult because that's all to be raining down damage on you, but it comes down to what they want to do about it.
All right, now the teams we have lining up for the two teams today. For Tempo Storm, we have the Australian representatives, Hey Katie and Yuki, back from the Blizzard World Cup. Mosh, Dorky, Res, and the man we're talking about, Jimeb. And over on Masterminds GC, we have Stoltz, Ahern, Degs, who's got a huge fan base going in Twitch chat there, Jordan, Bim, and the pickup of Twiggy. So we are 30 seconds away from getting map 2. This is 1 versus 4. Tempo Storm finished first in the regular season, Doctor. Masterminds beautifully scraped up into 4th there. I shouldn't say scraped, actually dominated into 4th spot. And we're in for a great game.
Yeah, it looks like we've already set up with Hey Katie on this top side. He's probably going to be looking to hide behind this box. And we've got Jimeb on this Roadhog. Roadhog's such a great character for Watchpoint Gibraltar. He can get those hooks off the players on the high ground and just try and disrupt that play. And it'll be interesting to see where they play, whether they play on this right side or on the left side in server room. Looks like they're setting up on the right side. They don't want to get caught out by something that might dive on them and get them stuck in server without being able to jump in and help them.
All right, match is underway here. And it is Masterminds on offense first. They have got the little cart, the space shuttle moving forward. And it's a usual setup of defense here, just at this bridge point as they move up towards the first point. Hey Katie at the back, just raining down some spam there with the Lucio. This Roadhog, goes for his first hook and just misses. Mosh is going to push forward now, giving some protection. Here's the big dive in from Masterminds. Who's going to come out on top? There's lots of spam, not too many botries hitting the floor. Jimeb goes down first. Hey Katie gets a return. Mosh goes down as well. And from that catwalk, this Soldier 76, Hey Katie is absolutely raining down the pain. No one's on the cart. One player left alive. Doctor, that first dive hasn't gone that well for Masterminds.
Yeah, they got an opening pick there, but there's no answer to Hey Katie with their lineup. There's nobody that can get up there and contest him. They did a good job to dive on the rest of their players, taking out Jimeb quite early on that hog. We've actually seen him swap off to Isaiah now, maybe just to survive a little bit longer with those shields. And in the end, they got those early picks, tried to push through, but a really good placed Anna grenade from Dorky, trying the healing, and then Hey Katie just cleaning up from there.
All right, here they come again. Twiggy just pushing through here on the front with the Reinhardt. Yuki's up behind, causing a bit of grief as they try and push that cart half around this corner. He's getting some uncontested shots into there, and he goes in for some kills. Picks up 1, picks up 2. Yuki on fire at the back of the cart here. Mosh stealing a frag from him. Yuki with a 3rd. And they may have got the cart to the corner, Doctor, but they got shut down on that push.
Yeah, Tempo Storm's now starting to put a really dominating performance. Hey Katie is still going fairly uncontested. They pushed up there, Yuki just sat on that high ground, and the moment we saw Stoltz start to push around the side there, he pulled out that Dragon Blade and went straight on that soldier, taking out that really critical DPS that they need. We see Degs on this Genji, now can he start to disrupt the play of Tempo Storm?
All right, so they've mixed it up on offensive time. They've come up high, they've come down into the server room, and looks like, in fact, they're going to go right the way round. They've had enough of being picked on by Hey Katie up on that catwalk, so they've gone the high ground themselves at Mastermind. And this is working out a little bit better for them, Doctor. They seem to be holding their own.
Yeah, and this is really good. Graviton Surge, but we see an amazing hammer down from Mosh, completely countering that there.
Yeah, nicely done. Hey Katie getting the double kill off that as well. And there goes Twiggy down on the cart. So another hold here. Tempo Storm showing us their domination early on. And I think it's fantastic to see the two players on fire are the two Australian representatives, Yuki and Hey Katie. And Doctor, 3 ultimates up now for Masterminds. This could be their chance.
Yeah, Tempo Storm had to use quite a lot there. By getting pushed off that high ground, they got a huge advantage, and Tempo Storm had to commit everything they had there to even retake and hold there.
All right, so the tactical visor has been activated here. We're pushing in. Dalton's laying down the fire. He picks up a double. Jordan's in there as well. And they've pushed through and captured the first point. 3 minutes, 17 seconds remain on the clock here. It is the opening round of match number 2 here on match points, or watch points of Gibraltar, as you can see. And Masterminds with a really nice take of the first point there. And they're just going to leave Anna to bring this cart through as they push forward, just to make sure they get a bit of an easy start to this second phase, Doctor.
Yeah, pushing forward really well there. Deg's getting another 2 key picks. They are going to be able to respawn and probably group up quite easily here, just for the fact the cart's got a long way to go right now. But I think just a lot of that came down to that previous fight where they went up the top, pushed them off the high ground, and then followed up just with a really great ult advantage.
Talking about from the top, here comes Tempo out of the space shuttle. Graviton Surge is down. Not too much capitalization on that Graviton Surge, though, other than a bit of a hold-up. And Mosh and Yuki have both been dropped. Mastermind's doing a great job defending that bit of defense and pushing through here. They will comfortably take the second point. And really, that was a pretty good push by them through this warehouse section.
And they've still got an ult advantage. They've got Degs with his Dragon Blade and Jordan with the Graviton Surge. And Aaron's about to have a boost. They could go with a combo, use 3 of those ultimates and push him back. That was such a great push there. They only got contested once there in that hangar phase. And now they're a really great advantage. It's quite a strong performance from Mastermind. And it feels like Tempo Storm are just slipping up a little bit and wasting a few of their ultimates in these fights.
Yeah, Tempo Storm started off with a bang there, holding that first point or that first stage really well. And we are now onto the final stage, the outdoor push. A hammer down. Hey Katie tries to capitalize. Does so with a double and a triple. Oh, that's the standard of play. There's a quad. Oh, Hey Katie rolling it through. This is Tempo Storm at their absolute finest there. What a dominant hold of the cart just at the bottom of the ramp.
Yeah, they really needed that there. They were starting to fall behind. They used that great Earth Shatter coming out from Mod, completely denying anything Masterminds could do there. And then Hey Katie with that tactical visor cleaning up the kills as well. Now they're on even ground.
They are. Masterminds back into it. Hey Katie's still holding this high ground and just raining the pain down on Mastermind. They've got to the cart here. Twiggy just pushing through, swinging that hammer down. Knocks Mosh out of the way. That's going to get them moving the cart slightly. It is a 5-on-3, a 6-on-3 advantage. They should be able to push this through. In fact, this could be quite trouble for Tempo here. They will spawn in time and try and push forward. Jimeb's just holding back, waiting for his teammates. He doesn't want to get picked off out early by himself. Yuki's just poking around. Here comes Storky as well. The cart doctor is right at the point. Jimeb is in the back to hammer down. And Twiggy picks up one. That was Yuki. Beautiful kill. Masterminds. What a display. What a display indeed. They are rolling the cart doctor into the first point. And wow, what a round.
Yeah, great turnaround from Masterminds there. They kind of struggled on that first point for a little bit. The moment they took that high ground off Tempo Storm, from then on, they just felt like they just didn't have that normal structured play. They got pulled away from what they wanted to do, and they didn't have a backup plan. And then from there, we saw Masterminds do a great job to just ride through that momentum and keep that ult advantage through most of it. And that's absolutely a huge performance. I don't think any of us expected such a strong performance from Masterminds there. It was a great job from them to bring it back and start to pull it in their favor. Now it's on them. What are they going to run for the defense here?
Well, our analyst panel at the moment are rewriting and scratching out their notes as we're moving on to this one. And if he hasn't done already, I reckon Disco's got the pants off. He'll be extremely happy and excited about Masterminds having 2 minutes in the time bank as we go to see what Tempo Storm can deliver on their offense. And we're going to get it underway. Here we go. The prepare to attack has gone out. 1 minute for the teams to get ready and count down. The Degs fanboys are still going off here in Twitch chat. And we have a game on our hands, Doctor. What a great start.
Yeah, we've got Twiggy and Degs both on mobile characters here. Twiggy's got fallen away from that Reinhardt play and he's going on to this Winston. maybe an expectation of seeing a Hey Katie Widow coming out as well as Yuki on this Genji. Winston's such a great character to play into the two of those. And Windowmaker can take out Stoltz on this high ground really easily. Hey Katie is such a great shot. He will contest Stoltz up there, but if there's a Winston on top of him, he won't be able to do anything. And to follow up from Deg, quite interesting to see that here. Now that does make them quite susceptible to a Earthshatter coming out from Mosh here.
All right, so 14 seconds. We'll get this second half of Watchpoint Gibraltar underway here. And I'm no chef, Doctor, but we have a recipe for success here in this match coming up. And I should know, actually, I am a master chef. 0 seconds are down, match underway. Let's see how the second half goes. Uncontested cart, as usual, to start us off. And they're going to push down. Now we've got the classic server room defense set up here. Let's see how it's going to go. They're going to push through high to try and get some side picks onto this. Twiggy's got his shield up, doing the job of blocking that doorway off. And fairly standard setup. Card coming through, Doctor. First engagement, getting ready to start.
Yeah, and by opting up to stay in server room, it's quite difficult for Widowmaker to get a lot of picks. And they're just completely running in on Tempo Storm's lineup, and he can't see any of the players.
All right, engagement taking place under the bridge here at the moment. Twiggy holding back with Stoltz, just using that shield for the defense he needs. We've got the Widowmaker up high on the right. Degs has seen them though, and that's Hey Katie. Gonna go and give Hey Katie a bit of a visit. No, he decides to just drop out, leave it alone. Hey Katie firing into the server room. They all pile in there, down onto the cart to get this engagement at the underside of the bridge, and they're holding them up nicely there. Hey Katie didn't go for the ninja drop at the back, didn't get lulled into that one. And they're forcing or dropping back into the server room now. Masterminds. Tempo Storm have got that card up. Degs teleporting his way out of there as fast as he can. Oh, there's a push off. And Twiggy goes for the charge, but Mosh crushes him into the wall. Nice counter charge there. Stopped him dead in his tracks. And Tempo have dropped Masterminds in the server room. Pushed the cart to the first point.
Yeah, Katie eventually opening that up for Tempo Storm. We saw Masterminds trying to commit on the rest of Tempo Storm's lineup down in that ditch there. In the first attempt, they got a pick early on, but in that second time around, Tempo Storm backed off so early and efficiently that they got nobody, and then Hey Katie was able to clean up as they tried to run away from the rest of Tempo Storm lineup, pushing it on top of them.
Yeah, and similar to what we saw from Masterminds here, we've got an aggressive forward push by Tempo. The difference is they've taken the high ground, and Mastermind's going to let them have this second point. Maybe, no, just waiting for a regroup. They don't want to get picked off early. Twiggy and Jordan up on the catwalk on the left. Bim is with them. Oh, Yuki goes flying into cause some mayhem. Yuki with a double. That's going to destroy their back line. Takes it out. Anna in particular is going to hurt them. And that will be an easy push now following that engagement, Doctor.
Yeah, that's some really amazing efficiency from Tempo Storm there. They're rotating through their ultimates right now really well. That boost on Yuki there, he just went in and cleaned up. And Mastermind's now a little bit desperate because they really want to get some delay off the looking point.
And they stop it. Great retake push in here by Mastermind to just stop Tempo right at the point and contest this little space shuttle from going any further. The Twiggy up the top, Yuki, sorry, up the top, just deflecting a few bullets back at Stoltz and Ahern to no avail though. They're going to regroup Tempo down at the generator. They've got to come under the bridge and get this cart rolling again. They got a chance to do it. Sound barrier goes down. Jim-Ed running away as fast as he can. Not fast enough. Jordan's right up his backside with a laser, and that's going to wreck your Sunday morning. Jordan picks up a double. Ahern with a, or triple, I should say. Ahern with a double. And this is Masterminds. What a strong hold for such close, almost second point, Doctor.
Yeah, Mastermind's doing a great job doing what Tempo Storm was unable to do, which was to set up and get a defense on the second point. By pushing back in there really well, getting that boost on Twiggy, he cleaned up there. Now they've got an ult advantage, and now they can get back into their set and just rotate through them. Tempo Storm were unable to do that because Masterminds just rode the momentum.
All right, Tempo coming out high here on the catwalk to the space shuttle. Mosh hit with the sleep dart as they came through, so that just delays their offense slightly. Dorky coming through last, backing them up here. Maybe going to try and get that nano boost off when it builds up. And no real engagement. Well, major engagement taking place here. And Graviton Surge goes down. Is it going to be a massive kill, though? I don't think so. Degs, Twiggy, I should say, with the counter hammer down, picks up one. That was Hey Katie. That's the one you want to get. They're going last today. And the back of the cart fight occurs. Mosh, Dorky, Jim-Ed taking on Jordan, Bim, and of course it is Degs. And shout out to all the Degs fanboys. Still giving it a big rip there. Mosh gets nano boosted. doesn't pick up much with that nano boost though, Doctor, and drops at the cart.
Yeah, Tempo Storm feel like they're committing ultimates and just not getting anything from it. There was a great Graviton Surge that came out there, but there was no follow-up to it. All the Masterminds players surviving through that Graviton Surge coming out from Jimib. There was an Earthshatter and Dragon Blade both ready at the time, and they just didn't use them efficiently. And then we just saw they used their ults efficiently, and then Jordan going absolutely huge on this side there. Really instrumental in keeping his team alive here and helping them push back Tempo Storm.
Yes, and Tempo Storm are being pushed back here. We have 1 minute and 40 seconds on the clock, so they've got a little bit of time to see what they can do. They've made their way into the space shuttle here. Yuki's down just to push the cart up, give a bit of a side strip distraction here, and Masterminds fall down to the cart. The rest drop from the catwalk. I don't think Mosh is going to be able to hold it. Oh, he gets a beautiful hammer down. Hey, Katie helps out with one. Jimeb picks up one. Sleep darts flying in. Twiggy drop with that one. Stoltz, though, coming to the rescue of Masterminds with a double. Hey, Katie bouncing around at the end here. Drops his health down. It might not help him. Gets a boost or a bubble from Jim. Refs is coming in to help out. I can see the players running at the background as fast as they can. 1 minute on the clock, Doctor. It's all down to this on the second point.
And Masterminds have the ult advantage. They can use this tactical advisor. They've got a Graviton Surge and a boost. They're going to be able to clean up tempo here.
And it looks like they are. 48 seconds on the clock. Mosh is here at the point, holding that shield up. Mastermind's dropping the damage. Stoltz probably getting the better of Hey Katie on the soldier in this particular round, picking up kill after kill every time they come pushing in. And 32 seconds on the clock. I think we're going to see a bit of a 1-0 in favour of Masterminds.
Yeah, Masterminds, they kind of slipped up on that first. This second point, this hangar stage, they're doing such a great job to regroup, stay together, and a lot of the fights are coming down to 2v3s and a lot of 1v1s happening as well. And they're actually winning, and that's huge for Masterminds here. What a Tempo Storm going to do? They've got 9 seconds left. They need to touch this payload.
They do indeed. 6 seconds on the clock. This is it. Make or break. Final push. Graviton Surge goes down. Sound barrier comes in. Yuki with a double. Mosh gets it. This could be huge for Tempo. They pull it off. Hey, Katie gets 1, 2. Yuki, wow, in overtime. They're going to get it through to the second point. Doctor, it's not match over just yet.
Yeah, but they're going to actually have an advantage for Mastermind with the amount of time banked up. They're now behind an offense. Mosh does have this Earthshatter. Twiggy's only at 17% right now. He did get a great Earthshatter off trying to save them, but there's just too much damage coming out from Tempo Storm. And that time, Tempo Storm...
play by Tempo there, Doctor, to re-get that in overtime. That was their last opportunity to keep Watchpoint Gibraltar alive. They rose to the challenge, as you'd expect the #1 team in Oceania to do. And they've now got 1 minute to try and push this round. And, we've got Degs in the back line. It's a big push on. The hammer down as well. Degs picked up Jim Ebb. That was a great one for Degs to take out of the back line. Hey, Katie raining down the pain from the balcony yet again. Twiggy swinging the hammer. And, but it could be not going their favour. Yuki's, Dorky, I should say, pushing his cart back. And Hey Katie now just riding the cart round. This is going to be close. 33 seconds. Masterminds Doctor will get one last chance, I think.
Yeah, Masterminds, they just need to delay this to overtime so they can remove a lot of the time bank from Tempo Storm here. They are a little bit struggling here. They don't have their tank out right, and they really need to try and clean up.
They do indeed. Jim Evans and the boys waiting at the back. Tim just spamming Lucio at him, trying to slow this cart down. Doing a great job. Oh, that was a huge hammer down, but not going to do them much avail. They're walking the cart in and they're going to cap it. And they have 5.6 seconds on the time bank. We're going to go to a little bit longer on Watchpoint Gibraltar. Doctor, what a round.
That's a huge round there. In the end, Tempo Storm on that second point, committing a lot of ultimates and cleaning up, and then just making it with 5 seconds left. It's going to put them up to a minute here. But Masterminds, they have 3 minutes here. They can play safe. They can just play their ultimates. They can try and rotate through them efficiently. They did get pushed away by Tempo Storm's HK on that Widowmaker on that first point, and that really hurt them. But if they can just play around it again and try and maybe stay in that serve a little bit longer and not be too aggressive, because Tempo Storm reacted really well to that aggression that came out from them. But they regrouped really well on that second point. Maybe they could just use this time to, maybe if they don't get this first point hold, at least hold them in this second stage, because they did end up pushing them to overtime there. And this has flipped everything on everybody here, because we all thought Tempo Storm would take this away quite well here.
Well, I just think it's full credit to both teams for putting on such a great show here. We've seen Tempo reintegrate a couple of their players that were away for a few weeks. They've got Turmo out, Jimeb in, so a little bit of variation for them. The boys from Mastermind have clearly been scrimming. They've got these strats down that they're going to use, and they're going to put faith in their strats, Dr. Nutter, including this golden sledgehammer wielding Twiggy front door of the server room hold.
Yeah, and I think it'll come down to this first point, whether they can either get that really quick engage off and get it done efficiently, because they only got one pick in their first attempt and then didn't get anywhere that second time. We actually see Hey Katie moving off to this Reaper, maybe feeling that the Widowmaker just took too long to open up anything for them.
Yeah, very true and good point. And plus, they only had a minute on the clock, so they have to be somewhat aggressive here to get this cart through. The Masterminds moving up onto the catwalk from the server room. They are still grouping up. They're not overcommitting just yet. They will dive once they move out, and that has happened. They wait for the cart to come under the bridge. Masterminds drop down. Yuki gets the opening kill on Jordan. The skirmish is still going on. Hey Katie with that Reaper coming to great effect with a beautiful double. Stoltz and Dex, two of the DPSs. There's the 30, takes out Twiggy. Jimeb helping with a Hearn, and it's going to be Tempo here. Bim goes down, cart uncontested. With 5 seconds on the clock, they're going to get it to the second point, or to the first point, I should say, to buy them more time through to the second. We are in overtime now. Can they ride this to glory, Doctor? Overtime.
Really unfortunate for Masterminds there. When they dropped down, they ended up sandwiching themselves right in between the entire Tempo Storm lineup. They had the DPS behind, and they were just facing into Monster Shield, who was getting killed up by Dorky there. And they kind of ended up putting themselves in a situation where Tempo Storm was able to clean them up.
A high ground defense here being shown by Masterminds. They've taken the shuttle and the bridges. They drop down now to engage at the nose of the shuttle. Let's see what they can do with this attack. Jordan's first down. Oh, Hey Katie with another double. He is absolutely letting rip. There's the third on this Reaper. And to our overseas viewers who were calling for the Reaper in the first match, you are seeing Australian representative Hey Katie wielding it to great effect here as a Tempo Storm ride the overtime train into the second point.
Yeah, this is almost a mirror match that we saw the first time through, but this is where Tempo Storm got pushed back and we saw Masterminds clean them up.
He did indeed. This was where they were the strongest at their hold. The longest point they held was here on this third point. Yuki popping the oh, nicely done. I was about to say popping his ultimate. He didn't have one, but he looked good anyway, just bouncing around. It's all down to Degs, Twiggy. There goes the Graviton Surge. They're going to walk this on. Still in overtime, ladies and gentlemen. Tempo Storm, edge of the seat stuff. Strap yourselves in. We are going to push on to the end point. Overtime, Gibraltar is what we like to see, Dr. Nutter, and this is finals day action. You wouldn't want anything else.
Yeah, we're starting to see Tempo Storm pull out the A game, and now it's quite dangerous. With only 3 minutes left, it can actually be quite difficult to push this far. And Masterminds have let it go a little bit here.
Yeah, no, this could prove costly indeed. That we're getting up to the final bend here. Twiggy down onto the cart, just said, I've had enough of that. There goes the hammer down from Mosh. He comes swinging in. Hey Katie capitalizes on it with one. Sound barrier down though. That was Bim dropping that just at the right time. This could be the swing back they needed. Stoltz with a double. It's Jimeb. It's Refs. Hey Katie lets the Death Blossom go with that triple. What a play, Doctor, at the end here. And he gets the quad kill to ride the cart into glory.
Hey Katie turning everything around there for them. It looked like Masterminds were going to retake that with Stoltz's tactical visor, but Hey Katie completely reversing that off them, and now Tempo Storm have almost made it all the way to the end with only starting with a minute on their time bank.
Wow, that'll be a highlight reel for someone. The Graviton Surge down on the cart. Masterminds trying desperately to save this. They're doing a reasonable job too. They've taken out Jimeb. Hey Katie and Yuki though picking up a double. Keeps the pressure on them as they try to defend this cart. Twiggy on the Diva spraying bullets. We got Stoltz dancing around, trying his best at the back here. It's not going to be enough though. I don't think they're going to be able to hold it. This is going to be a great play if they pull it off. Half overtime is still ticking. They've got back to the cart. Degs gets there. Degs is dropped. It's all down to Jordan. Can Jordan get back? No, he can't. Overtime into the point. Dr. Nutter.
Oh my goodness, Tempo Storm, 1 minute and pushing there, almost just contested a little bit, and then at the end, Hey-Kating and turning it around. That's a huge performance. Now Masterminds, it's going to hurt your morale here, because they would have felt really confident after that first round through. But when it counts, Tempo Storm.
With kick to the nether region, that.
Yeah, Tempo Storm just pulling it out. That's when it counted, and Tempo Storm like, oh, we can't let that go. They maybe were a little bit complacent, maybe just didn't have that synergy down, and then just running through there, just staying on that entire time. If they'd walked off that payload for less than a second, probably half a second,
absolutely,
it would have gone.
Yeah, you talked about Masterminds having that roughly 3 minutes in the bank and whether they were going to have the time to play around here with their strats. I don't know if that's still the case. I think they're going to have to use every second to push this as hard as they can.
Yeah, their advantage is just completely gone here. I thought they'd be able to maybe bank up some ultimate and stop them somewhere early in that second stage, but just completely shut down by Tempo Storm there. Now Masterminds with 3 minutes, it's kind of only just enough. They're going to be in overtime here. And will Tempo Storm, they're now in the safe space, so they can just bank up their ultimate and clear off Masterminds maybe once in this second stage, or just maybe get a really strong hold on the first point here.
Doctor, you could dip my nuts in milk and lock me in a room of kittens, and I still wouldn't be as excited as I am for this 3 minutes of Gibraltar. And we are underway. Let's see what Masterminds can do. They're going to push this cart uncontested up to the bridge, it would appear. Yuki's up top with the Reaper. Mosh down the bottom with Jimeb. Just getting ready to tank it up. They're coming in under the bridge now. Degs just doing a bit of poking around as Degs likes to do. Bouncing, throwing shuriken, bouncing. Twigs is on the front of that cart. They're taking a heap of fire. Long range fire, no quick engagements have occurred yet. Yuki might be the first to drop. Yuki drops in, gets bubble freeze trouble, and there's the charge from Tempo. The skirmish is on. Degs gets the first kill of the round, taking out Yuki. That's the one you want. Drop that player very quickly, and you've got a great chance here. But it would appear that Tempo are going to hold this first one. They lost too early, and they decided to fall back and save their players, Doctor.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if Mastermind goes somewhat of the same play where they run up top and push them off that high ground. Get 2 late picks there. Jimeb's only just making it back, but they haven't come in fast enough. Jimeb's going to be back in time for this next fight.
All right, here we go. Cart getting pushed. Masterminds now, 1:47 on the clock. Cart is about 10 meters from the point before Mosh engages to slow it down here. Yuki doing his work as well. Hey, Katie loves the high ground. Hammer down. Hey, Katie and Yuki just picking off the kills. This DPS from the 2 Australian players. Yuki with the triple on that push. Shut Mastermind down. And if it comes down to that, pure DPS, Hey, Katie and Yuki are 2 of the people you'd want on your team, Doctor.
Yeah, and Hey, Katie, to sit out with this high ground doing a lot of damage, as well as Yuki getting in amongst it and putting out damage on those tanks. Now, Mastermind, we thought they had a great advantage, and it's just completely disappeared here. And they're going to have to commit a lot of ultimates. They're going to commit everything once they get it in this next fight.
They've got a Hearn sitting up. They've got a few others getting close. Twiggy's almost at his. They're not wasting any time now. This is the strat that worked for them in the first round. They push round high into the server room. Then they come up high out on the gangway overpass and just push Hey Katie off that back point there. And they've done that again. The only problem with that is the cart's rolling further away from the port. Graviton Surge goes down. Des picks up a double. Doesn't quite capitalize off that. Masterminds have successfully pushed them into the server room. They'll have to try and flank it now, but it is going to be Bim walking this in. He's got Stoltz giving him cover over the top. Oh no! Hey, Katie comes in for the quick save, but gets shut down. Great work, 24 seconds on the clock, and we're into stage 2, Doctor.
Yeah, I think Tempo Storm, they're not going to be too worried about it here. There's no way they're going to be able to push to this second phase checkpoint before it's in overtime. And as we see, Tempo Storm are now starting to build up the ultimates. And the Death Blossom, and when they get this Earth Shatter, if Mosh gets another amazing Earth Shatter off here, Yuki's just going to clean up with an amazing Death Blossom.
We just have to wait and see. There's the call. Are we going to see the Death Blossom action? I hope so, ladies and gentlemen. And the cart coming through here. Graviton Sturge is going down. Sound barrier's popping as well. Twiggy laying on his ass. He's back up. Mosh. Oh, there goes the hammer down. Can they capitalize and get some kills on that one? Yuki's out of there. Jordan with a double. Degs comes in as well. This is what Masterminds needed. This is what they're bringing to the day's play. And the cart is in motion, Doctor. And in overtime, same as we saw before. They're rolling.
Tempo Storm just used everything they had there and didn't reach that point. It is a long time in overtime, so the team of Masterminds get off the point for half a second here. It is going to go down very quickly. They're doing a great job to stay together.
Right, so Tempo aren't going to just give it up without a fight. They've pushed in here on the B point to slow it down. Ahern, Twiggy, the boys are going to do it though. There it goes. They've capped the 3rd point in overtime. Can Masterminds pull it off as well here and run this map the same as Tempo did? Toot toot! The after-time train has left the station again as they're riding it round. And where are they going to hold, Doctor? They're not even going to bother with the point. They're waiting back to a regroup. And I'm in the corner I meant. It looks like they're going to do a fairly back-end hold on this one.
They might aggress really hard here so that they can get on this payload early and just stop Masterminds building up those ultimates, because they've won all these last fights really convincingly and they're pulling ahead.
You're powered up. Get in there.
And the fight taking place on the corner here. They were just waiting to regroup. Hey, Katie, loving the high ground, getting the height, getting the headshot, dropping the players. And this is a fairly even battle so far here on this card. And it is a Hearn. It is Bim just desperately trying. This is going to be it, though. If Bim can't get back, the overtime's ticking. Tempo take the first map 1-0 here on Watch Point Gibraltar. And Dr. Nada, what an opening game to match 2.
Yeah, Masterminds really show us what they're made of there. That's an absolutely huge performance from them there. They rode through that first checkpoint. After they got that, they rode through that second checkpoint so quickly. They did have a time bank advantage. If they got wiped there at the first checkpoint early on, they might have been able to respawn. But in the end, post-storm, maybe getting shaken up a little bit there. That's absolutely huge for Masterminds here.
Game on. We'll throw over to Xenox and the analyst panel for the end of map breakdown. And guys, are you excited as we are with that round?
Thank you very much, EJ. Well, I don't think you could get more exciting games than that. Genome, we thought we casted the hype game, but that went the distance. Masterminds taking it right up to Tempo Storm, and at times looking like they should have won the map. But in the end, Tempo Storm just showing too much. Genome, we were sort of talking off air, and you mentioned ult management. It's pretty vital in those overtime pushes.
Yeah, when you're going into overtime and you're on that second push where as soon as you get off the cart, you are done, right? Past about 10, 15 seconds, you know, it's maybe like 0.1, 0.2 of a second. If you're off the cart, you just lose. So what the teams need to do, especially Tempo Storm, they've pushed it all the way to the end. They know they have so much time, and all they have to do is just bank up every single ult, use all of them at once, and win one fight. When the pressure is off you, and you know that you only need to win one fight in an entire map push, it shouldn't be that hard. And Tempo Storm, they popped a lot of ults at the end of that second point and still couldn't get it done. I was honestly a bit surprised that they won that next fight, but wow, gosh, they made it close, didn't they?
Gaimo, what was your thoughts on that very hectic and full of excitement game?
Yeah, well, full of excitement indeed. I was never really sure what was going to happen. And I have to say, though, that Masterminds did a lot better than I expected them to. To be perfectly honest, I wasn't expecting them to necessarily even finish Gibraltar, because Gibraltar can be a hard map to push out, but apparently it's not a hard map to push out, because we just saw it pushed out 3 times and then almost a 4th. So really good showing from Masterminds. Tempo, they seem to be taking a bit of time to warm up. We'll have to see if they're quite ready for this one.
You kind of get the feeling that they've warmed up a little bit after that 1 minute push for 6 total points. Heading into round 66, we're going to get another payload map. Have your predictions changed at all? Are we going to see Tempo Storm sort of take this one out? They've got that momentum now, Genome.
I think that Tempo Storm is still absolutely favored, though I'm very worried. It was just so back and forth, and I do wonder if that's a little bit to do with this new meta. I feel like the fact that we're getting less ultimates is meaning that there's almost more momentum. You can get bigger momentum shifts, because if you win a big fight, it can be such a long time for, you know, the defending or attacking team to build up a bank of ultimates to be able to, you know, maybe get a Graviton Surge and a Rocket Barrage, something like that, a combo going. It can take quite a bit of time to build that up again.
Gaima, going into round 66. Masterminds, have they got a chance here? Can they show what they showed us on Gibraltar and possibly take a map off Tempo Storm?
Well, before seeing that last map, I would have said no, but after what we saw, they definitely have a shot at this, so you can't count them out by any means.
Well, we should be just about heading in now. I will thank the sponsor, Zowie, who's trying for perfection, Split Media Labs, who provide XSplit, Challenge, Player.me, and Plantronics, the leading headset provider for GameStar. But we're heading back into what really matters. It's the game. Tempo Storm, Masterminds. EJ's your lead commentator.
Thank you again to Xenox and the panel there. Dr. Nada, let's do it all again. Route 66.
Yeah, now I'm not sure what to think here because Masterminds have put on such a great show there. They show what they're made of. Now, what will happen? It's a pure payload again. Tempo Storm. It's Route 66. Will they hold that high ground on Big L's and can they have a dominating performance there? And Masterminds, can they just show us that, hey, they've got what it takes and they are definitely deserving of making it up here in the top 4, coming in with the 4 seed and nearly taking a map off Tempo Storm there, really.
All right, so we're going to have Masterminds kicking it off on offense here. Tempo Storm will be defending. And key points, Dr. Nutter, to Route 66.
It'll come down to this high ground, what they do for Tempo Storm, whether they engage off it early, whether they move Mosh to the front of it and just try and contest that payload, and whether I think mostly whether Degs or Stoltz here. Maybe if they open up this Bastion, it looks like they're going to open with it. With Stoltz on this Genji, he'll be looking to disrupt. Nah, swapping off to the Soldier, going to play us there. Interesting to see that they've done it that way around. Usually Degs would open with the Genji. And whoever's playing this diving character, whether he can disrupt Tempo enough that the people on the low ground can just shoot up into them and get damage onto them.
All right, 5 seconds and Route 66 about to get underway. You're listening to EJ and Dr. Nutter. We're bringing you a round 2 action of the Division 1 Finals Day double elimination qualifiers. It's a best of 3 and we are underway. Masterminds are bringing the card forward. Jordan and Twiggy on point. Stoltz bouncing up high. We've got the service station hold defense here. Big Girls is where the battle is going to take place. Cart rounding the bend as we come up on the point here, and it is Yuki who just zips in there to cause a bit of mayhem. He is dropped though by Degs running this Bastion. You heard it there, ladies and gentlemen. We have the Bastion is out, Dr. Nutter.
Yeah, they only sent just only Yuki there in to try and contest him there. Ended up getting cleaned up. The rest of their players now going in. Once you push him off this payload here, it'll be quite difficult here. And Bastion, once you get that close, usually you see teams drop off the payload and try and sit back and not get that close to the defending team.
And great job there by Tempo Storm. They held that one out. And Ahern probably could have dropped back there to keep himself alive, but he's dropped and will have to catch up with his team from the respawn. They've waited for him. They're all good. They're going to come around on this corner now and try and take this cart and get it pushed forward past Big Earl's gas station. And on to the first objective. Jordan on point with Twiggy. Stoltz just goes up high. Nicely done by Stoltz to cause a bit of distraction. Pushes Jimeb off the roof. Yuki does the same going into the back line. The engagement's on for young and old here. Hey Katie with a double to start it off. Twiggy got the first kill. And Hey Katie followed through. Triple to Hey Katie, showing us all how the Reaper should be played. There's his 4th. And we've got a $200 man of the match prize coming up for the grand final. If they get there and they keep playing like this, Hey Katie's going to be looking at $200 richer, courtesy of GameStar coming on. But I don't think Masterminds are going to lay down that easy, Doctor.
Yeah, we saw them get an early pick on Mosh there, but great positioning from Hey Katie. And then to boost and speed boost, because you don't get that extra speed from this nano boost anymore. So they've got to use that boost in there to get them.
And the occurrence of the engagement takes place there. Yuki Jimmy picking up a double off the back of the Graviton Surge. And that's another Masterminds push. There's a lot of dead bodies around that cart. And someone could easily open up an Undertaker's business here in the front of Big Earl's. Maybe Big Earl will go into the Undertaking business himself and cash in. At the moment, though, we have Masterminds coming back. Here we go. Twiggy's at the back, pushing forward. Now going to catch up with the rest of his team. The cart is rolling back towards the first bridge. And we've got a rotation to the high ground by 2, maybe 3 of... No, they've come back. They were just getting onto the high ground on this side, the Big Earl side of the point. Twiggy on the front of the cart, managing to push it through. The engagement's taking place as it does every time. Right on it. There goes the hammer down. Doesn't get anyone. Twiggy and Des says we'll have someone though. Drop Hey Katie. That's the one they want. This is the best chance that Masterminds have, and they've done it. They've dropped them. They've pushed the cart. Dr. Nutter, they're going to roll it round with just under a minute on the clock. I thought we were going to see a Big Earl hold. We are not. I don't know. Here they come, Dr. Nutter. They might be fighting for this one.
That really pick on Hey Katie, opening up for them, but they're going to be able to come back and contest. No ultimate. I think they'll just be looking for a little bit of a stall out here.
They are going to come in and contest, so this is Finals Day action. Balls to the wall stuff by the boys from Tempo Storm, but it's not enough. Mosh goes down, the cart rolls through, and a first point is hit by Masterminds. That'll help their confidence. They'll be extremely happy about that one. And Twiggy just coming back through the opening doors here to the front of the cart.
Under 2 minutes here, though.
Onto the road stage, and it is a Western City. We're going to come past the high side, past Zed's garage, and under the overpass. Let's see what Tempo Storm are going to bring them on this one, Dr. Nutter.
Yeah, and they've got Yuki's Dragon Blade here. If they go huge off the back of this, they'll be looking to shut them down here. 1 minute and 30 seconds. If that's not much time to push through the second stage, that was still quite a decent defense there from Tempo Storm on that first point. Now, once they got that pick on Hey Kate, that got them the first point. Can they get it again?
It was the difference. The Graviton Surge goes down. Mosh and Yuki are caught in it. Yuki gets cleaned up out of it and manages to get nano boosted as well. Trying to slash and dice anybody he can. He's going after Jordan and Deg. Jimmy B is pushing up the back here. Sorry, Jimmy, but I got to do it. Kickboxing can't be here. Bim defending the cart bravely as the Lucio. And doing a pretty damn good job as well, I might say, or attacking on the cart. And there goes Bim down at the back of the cart. Bim's not good, ladies and gentlemen, in a 4-on-1 as a Lucio. And I don't think anybody would be, but you just got caught on TV there, Bim. Bim will bounce back, though, as he always does. He's not known as Bim the Bounceable for nothing. 43 seconds on the clock, Doctor. Can Masterminds get this round to the second point?
Yeah, unfortunately for Bim, surviving for so long ended up staggering the spot, which has delayed them a little bit here. They do have this boost and tactical vibes. They'll be looking to go straight in with that combo here.
All right, double sound barriers have gone down. Graviton surges have gone down. There's a Twiggy again with the opening combo. Mosh with the hammer down just to break it up and say, I've had enough of that. Hey, Katie's firing his bullets away. Picks up one. Nicely done. Stoltz, though. That's what Mastermind needed. New recruit Stoltz showing his worth to the team here, picking up a double kill and allowing Masterminds to push this card forward. And Stoltz is going to go and try and distract them with Twiggy to prevent them pushing out here. But I'm sure, Doctor, they're going to push out.
They're going to come out here, but they've got no ultimates, and Stoltz and Twiggy's ultimate is going to be what they're going to use here to shut them down. They should definitely be able to catch this second checkpoint.
All right, second checkpoint, final engagement potentially taking place. The bionic grenade's gone out, Mosh has gone down. This is a great job. Mastermind's fighting back beautifully here. And it is Tempo Storm dropped on the cart. Yuki's last one alive. Yuki goes down. Dr. Nutter called it as the expert analyst he is. They pushed the cart through. Masterminds have got both points, bought themselves another minute and a half.
Yeah, one thing I didn't call there was I thought they'd use their ultimates to defend, but they did such a great job there grouping up and getting a great biotic grenade coming out from Aaron there. Dude, absolutely instrumental in them winning that fight, that they didn't have to commit any ultimates.
Yeah.
Now they can roll through with 3, nearly 4 to this last checkpoint.
And we've just got Dorky and Hey Katie have picked up theirs for Tempo at this stage. So the cart is on the inside now. We're coming through the warehouse towards the Van of Love, the American Eagle van there. It's a fireworks van. We should blow that van up, though. Just had like spectacular fireworks effect of this map. I'll let the developers know. You never know, you like the big city. Mosh has pushed forward to the front of the cart here. Just going to hold it, stop it getting any further forward. In fact, they're going to push them right out of the building. And this is our warehouse, not yours. Take a hike for it.
Yeah.
Masterminds say, stuff that though, Doctor, and here they come.
Yeah, Stoltz using that Dragon Blade there, going a little bit too deep that the rest of Tempo Storm just turned around and dealt with it. Now Yuki sitting up in a great position but doesn't have a death boss. And we see, once again, this combo between the tactical wise and the boost ready for Masterminds.
Masterminds have a huge ultimate advantage here coming into this battle, and they're taking most advantage of it. They're dropping them down. Mosh holds out beautifully, though, for his team. Degs is on fire. The Degs fanboys will be buying t-shirts left, right, and centre in the Twitch chat at the moment. If they were on sale, that is. But if they were, they'd be buying them, yeah, for their love of Degs. The cart rolling through here. Ahern doing his great job on the Anna, riding the cart, popping off the shots. Twiggy charges into a box. Box is talking crap about his bum. Apparently you can't do that, so you charge him with your shield. And Masterminds, though, walking it in. There's no defense here. Oh, they've stopped at .12. Dr. Nutter, it's all on. Yuki with a double. Jordan goes down. Hey, Katie. Oh, Tempo Storm. You couldn't have cut it any finer. Twiggy gets back on. It's still in overtime. Dex goes down. It's going to be an overtime hold. Oh, my God. Dr. Nutter.
Yeah, really good job there from Masterminds, doing a great job to get there. That last point can be quite difficult to push. We saw Twiggy flank around the back there, trying to get an Earthshatter off, landing on their players, Mosh being able to get his one out because he ended up dying really fast. But just the rest of their players from Tempo Storm coming back in, that Graviton Surge coming out from Jimmy, cleaning up Masterminds at the end there. Now, that defense. We saw Tempo Storm, they actually dropped off Big Earls quite early on after that Bastion, ended up playing that low ground. And then once that pick came out on Hey Katie, Masterminds pushed through and had quite a strong performance from then. And now, what will they do? What pick is going to open it up for Tempo Storm to push through this first point?
Well, regardless of what happens on this first point and advancing further in the competition, Masterminds have shown they might have finished fourth coming into this final series, but they well and truly can hold their own with Tempo Storm here. These are extremely close matches, and an ultimate here or there could really change the outcome of some of these engagements. And it's just going to be close now. Route 66, second half about to get underway. Can Tempo bring us the offense that the viewers want to see, or are Masterminds going to shut this down and take us onto our third map, which would be Hollywood? Everyone wants to see a bit of Hollywood, Dr. Nutter. Let's hope so.
Yeah, I'd really like to see Masterminds do well on this map because I want to see Hollywood. I want to see a map that usually gets banned out by a lot of teams. We do see it every now and again, and we just haven't seen a lot of play. We've actually seen Gibraltar spike up in the amount of times we've been seeing it play. I think a lot of that attributes to the fact that Soldier's being picked up almost every single game by both teams. It's such a strong pick. We actually see Tempo Storm going for that Yuki, Genji, and Heikei Reaper. He went absolutely huge on this Reaper on that defense. We'll be looking to see whether he gets a lot done on this offense. And Mosh playing this monkey, maybe just trying to get in there with Yuki and just get them off Big O's roof as fast as possible.
That's going to be their plan. We are 1 second into the match. There we go. We've kicked it off, ladies and gentlemen. And let's see what Tempo Storm can do here. We got the Big Owl Garage defense ready to rock and roll on behalf of Masterminds. And Tempo just going to push through here. Yuki up high onto the overpass. Bullets flying in left, right, and centre, just trying to knock them off. We don't have the Bastion starting this one off, as we saw with Mastermind. More of a conventional loadout for Tempo Storm. Lots of flyer going up onto there. There goes the monkey. Mosh is in just to break it up here. Bim drops down. First to drop onto the car. Twiggy is as well. Yuki, hey, Katie, again that combination picking up the kills. Fantastic DPS players. Bim has got to be one of the best Chilean Lucios going around in the oceanic scene. Does a fantastic job. I curse him, though, Doctor, as I give him a rap, he gets tapped in the head.
Yeah, and Dorky's grenade there up onto the roof, landing on a couple of the players of Mastermind, meant that Yuki was absolutely able to go huge because none of the players were able to heal up. They chased down Jordan on that Zaya and cleaned up really efficiently. I think a lot of that actually came down to Dorky and his healing in that grenade primarily.
All right, so plenty of time on the clock. They're not going to re-engage. They're coming out. Oh, half a metre in it. That's a fairly bold move by Masterminds there. This could pay off for them. We'll wait to see with the engagement. They've got a 2-on-1 advantage or a 2-kill advantage here. Stolt with the double, bringing them back into it. And hey, Katie desperately trying this Reaper on the side. They're pushed into the tunnel for his trouble and dropped with a Twiggy sledgehammer to the head. You never want to get caught in a dark tunnel with Twiggy swinging a sledgehammer. Your way, Dr. Nutter.
Yeah, really good job there. They waited almost the last second there, coming out and then using Stoltz's tactical visor, cleaning up. Twiggy sitting at the front line, beating on them with that hammer, cleaning up really well. And just Tempo Storm a little bit split there. Now though, we see Masterminds building up their ultimates, but this payload's pushed almost way to the end here. What will Tempo Storm do? Will they dive straight to it, or are they going to push them off this roof again?
Well, I think they're going to have to probably push them off the roof. If they flank round, they'll just get dropped down on at the cart. And Masterminds, as you said, have the ult advantage at the moment. Well, it's 3-2 still. And hey, Katie's first one round there onto the cart to try and get it. That has drawn them off the roof. Yuki coming in from behind, tries to take A-Ren out. Apparently it's not a Hearn anymore, but A-Ren, but I'm pretty sure it's changed his name to a Hearn after this one. Epic battle taking place. No one's died yet at the point. At the cart, I should say. Hammers swinging. Oh, Mosh and Revs. They break the stalemate. Pick up a double. Twiggy with a beautiful hammer down. And Jordan picks up a double. Well, lots of double kills today, Dr. Nutter. Lots.
Like going almost evenly there for a long period of time, and then as we saw, another great Rhino grenade, and then that Graviton surge cleaning up. The Mosh is going absolutely huge on this Winston. He's getting it on that backline of Masterminds and really disrupting it, removing Aaron from these fights, and just he can't heal his team anymore. Mosh is just completely shutting him down. Bim is doing a great job on that Lucio, but the rest of Masterminds is getting pulled apart by the rest of the players from Tempo Storm, especially Hey Katie on this Soldier now.
Shout out to Ori having a listen in the Twitch chat. And maybe I'm just auditioning for the Melbourne Cup next year. You never know your luck. In a big city, Twiggy and the boys holding the high ground here. Cart rolling through. And it's about to come past the bar. The Graviton Surge has gone down there. Just slowing them down, though. You keep picking up one kill. Not too much damage from that ultimate. Valuable. The value of it will be determined later, I guess, when we see what Tempo can do with it. Hey, Katie, Yuki, again, DPSing well. Zed's Garage just spectacle now as they roll past. Ref's doing his bouncy job, and Masterminds really need to regroup here, or this is going to be a quick second stage.
Yeah, a bit of a wasted graviton surge there. There was no follow-up to it. We had Stoltz there sitting at the back trying to shoot through, but Mosh's shield just not going to get through that anytime soon. Now we've got Yuki with his Dragon Blade. He can easily clean up the players from Mastermind if they stream out inefficiently here.
All right, play about to take place here, and Masterminds charge in for the drop down on the point as they needed to do to slow this one down. It is Stoltz again getting the upper hand with the Soldier 76, playing a great game. Twiggy backing him up with a nice double there with the sledgehammer. Masterminds have stopped the cart at the back of the saloon here, and that could be a nice spot for them. They'll get the respawning players back in, and it is Bim, of course, the Master Lucio card rider, and just bouncing around. Nice hold again, Doctor.
Yeah, Stoltz there doing a great job. They countered that Dragon Blade from Yuki by boosting Stoltz, which was able to survive the swings coming out from Yuki, and then he ended up killing with that tactical visor. Now they're going to start to fall behind with ultimates here.
They will. We are under 45 seconds here in this half of the map, and a full Kappa winner for them. We got a 2-point and a lot of distance for Mastermind. They were so close. Engagement's gone down. We're under 34 seconds. Tempo need to pull this one out, or they're not going to get this second point. Hey, Katie gives them the advantage, though. Drops Stoltz, who's been a dynamo for them. Mosh too good for Twiggy, and this could well be it. This could be what they need. Diggs drops down. Death Blossom gets a double. Oh, it could be a hole. This is a great play by Mastermind. 14 seconds. Dr. Nutter, what great play.
Yeah, they've completely turned this around here. They've done a great job. Their Deg's going huge with that. Stoltz doing a great job, and we're just going to see Tempo stop. They've got to stream in, and now it's just on Masterminds to clean up here.
They are good at this overtime, rolling the toot-toot train through. Mosh down onto the cart now. They are not holding the advantage, and they are not holding anything. They're holding band-aids over their wounds at the moment because Masterminds have just shut them out on Route 66, and we are locked up 1-1, Dr. Nutter, going into Hollywood.
Yeah, Masterminds, absolutely huge performance. Deg's going absolutely huge. Aaron as well on that Anna. I was talking about Dorky early on Anna for Tempo Storm, but Aaron on that, just doing Aaron on that Anna there, doing a great job of landing a lot of really important biotic grenades and boosting at the exact right. Great communication must be coming out from Masterminds right now, and now they've got this momentum. They can ride this hype, and hopefully for them put another good showing and possibly beat Tempo and Hollywood.
Oh, that would be an upset to start the day for sure. We'll go over to Xenox and the panel to break down Route 66.
Thank you very much, EJ. Well, that's pretty much an upset already to start the day if you think about it. Masterminds taking this map out. Genome, I don't think many were expecting that, but after the Gibraltar game, it's not as unexpected.
Yeah, look, I certainly wasn't expecting Tempo Storm to come out and play like this today. They look really, really scattered, don't they? They just struggled defense and offense. It didn't matter where they were. There's these glimpses of brilliance where you see Yuki just pop off and get a whole bunch of kills, and then there's other times where it feels like he's having a bit of a brain fade, you know, like he goes up against Stoltz with the nano-boosted tack visor, and he wastes a little bit of it with, actually I think it's about to come up on stream, and he wasted a bit of it with his reflect, and then he stays around. Like it's almost like he doesn't respect Stoltz, and as a result, the tack visor just taking him out so quickly. And I think that's maybe I've hit on it there. Maybe it's the respect. They're not giving Masterminds the respect they deserve, because there's a lot of times where they're using ults when they've only got, single ults at a time rather than trying to combo them together. It's like they feel like if they can just use one ult and then maybe win the fight from there just on their fragging ability. But Masterminds, they're too coordinated for that, and Tempo Storm really need to recognize that.
Geimer, we are heading into Hollywood coming up shortly, and before we discuss that, Degs and Stoltz are really taking it right up to Heikedi and Yuki. They're providing so much damage for Masterminds and getting the kills that matter. But as a team, Masterminds just look on point right now.
Yeah, you'd think with the changes of lineup that would see a less coordinated Masterminds, but we've actually seen the opposite, with Twiggy and Stoltz adding so much power to Masterminds. And so now the whole team is just doing their jobs. And generally when you see a team all fulfilling their roles so well, they do well, and that's exactly what's happening. And Tempo Storm have to be worried now.
Well, they have to be worried. They have to respect Masterminds. The way they've been playing in this series so far, heading into Hollywood, though, Genome, he's still going to back Tempo Storm.
It's really a toss-up at this point, and I feel it's all just in Tempo Storm's hands. If they play like they should be, I think they will take it out. But if they play like they have been in these last 2 maps, I don't think they're going to. I feel like they almost got, a bit lucky on Gibraltar. They had a second life, and they showed what they're capable of when they full pushed it in overtime. But yeah, they really need to just respect Masterminds, please, and just play a little bit more cautious, a little bit more conservative with their ultimates.
Gama, just before we hand it back over to EJ, give us your predictions for Hollywood. Genome is a bit unsure now. Are you still firm with Tempo Storm?
I'm with Genome. It's so hard to call at the moment, and so it'll really come down to how they perform in this map. I don't think anyone can be sure of what's going to happen on Hollywood, so I guess we'll just have to see.
Well, I'll throw it to EJ in a second, but before I do that, I'd like to thank the sponsors again. Zowie, who's trying for perfection. Split Media Labs, whose products we use. XSplit, Challenge, Player.me, and Plantronics, the headset provider for GameStar. And a special shout-out again to Gosu for the host today. But it's Masterminds versus Tempo on Hollywood to decide this best of 3. EJ is your lead commentator. Take it away, EJ.
Thank you indeed, Xenox and the panel. Dr. Nutter, welcome back. We are on Hollywood.
Yeah, really interesting to see we made it this far. I don't think any of us had really expected it. And then after that Watchpoint Gibraltar game, we did see Masterminds with a really strong performance and then taking Route 66 off Tempo Storm. Now, as they were talking about on the panel, it is in Tempo Storm's hands here. It'll come down to them pulling out that really solid play that we do see from them. That really solid play we actually did see from them on Watchpoint Gibraltar, where they managed to push the entire map almost flawlessly. It's in their hands. What are they going to do? Are they just going to let that respect as well? Like, can they respect these DPS from Masterminds who are doing a really good job?
It's just excellent. Last week in the Division 2 finals, through this qualifier phase, we had best of 3, but they were all 2-0s right the way through to the grand final. This week, Div 1, when you step up that next level in competition, and now we're seeing 3 maps played pretty much for, well, we saw it in the first game, we're here in the second game, and I think it just shows that next level of intensity that you get from First Division teams.
Yeah, it also shows that these teams aren't too far apart anymore. Originally, we used to say Tempo Storm, they're just a step above the rest, and there's just the rest of the teams need to catch up to them. Now they have. Now they're really taking it to Tempo Storm here, and they've removed that gap that Tempo Storm used to have above the rest of the teams. And they're coming so close, and they can actually beat them now. They're not this unstoppable machine anymore. These other teams really putting it to them now.
All right, so Masterminds are starting off on a defense here. We are underway, ladies and gentlemen, and just take us through the classes that we got on game for both teams, Dr. Nutter.
We've got Yuki playing this defensive Pharah, which is really interesting to see. They're playing this really aggressive comp. We've got Mosh on the Winston again. Hey, Katie on the... Genji here. Dorky's staying on this Anna, Ref staying on the Lucio. And defensively, we see 2 hit stands coming out from Mastermind. Really interesting to see them pull that out. Nothing like a Reaper here as well.
All right, first engagement is on. There's a little bit of to-in and throw-in at the archway there, but they've pushed in now, and it is Yuki, first player down, drop by Degs. The hit scan at the back does the job, takes out the monkey as well. And that's a nice first start by Masterminds there. They pushed in, dropped 2, now that's 3. Degs is going huge to start us off here, Doctor, on that Soldier 76.
Yeah, Yuki going over the top. They're just trying to get stuff done with that Pharah there, but if you're diving into Degs and Stotts on this McCree Soldier combo, you're not going to get much done. Both of them shooting out of the air so quickly there. And as already we see Yuki moving off to this Genji. He's just not going to get anything done on the Pharah against 2 strong hit scan players.
All right, second engagement coming in here. We are on Hollywood. Tempo Storm on offense here. A first point engagement taking place. And to a Yuki again, and a Mosh push right to the back, allowing Jimeb, refs, and a Yuki back onto the point here. And we've just seen a bit of a clear out to go and get some health packs there. Dorky, gee, they're taking that Anna out fairly quickly, Doctor, for the boys from Tempo.
Yeah, they really want to get in there, and they're diving with Mosh here, and he's getting these really key picks and staying alive. Mosh is just not getting taken down anymore.
But this could be the play they needed. There goes Jordan, pops his Graviton first, and for a second there, I thought they were going to have the numbers on the boys from Masterminds. That might still be the case. Mosh is in. Hearn is here battling it away with Boom, the Master Lucio, as we said. But the reinforcements just arriving, and they're going to stop them capping this point so far. Mosh charges in again, but Twiggy's waiting for him. Cracks his skull in. Monkey Brain's on the menu for lunch here, ladies and gentlemen, when Twiggy's swinging that hammer. Hey, Katie, though, shoots him in the back and drops him just after the Graviton Surge goes down. That's Rick rolled them. And the boys from Tempo Storm, Doctor, onto the point.
Yeah, Mosh just not dying for a huge amount of time there. Really opening it up for Tempo Storm to just stream back in with their respawning, where Mosh survived about 2 respawns from a few of their players. And that's a huge performance from him there. And then Hey Katie coming out with that dead eye, cleaning up the point. Really good job there from Tempo Storm to let Mosh and enable him to just absolutely assist them there in taking that point.
All right, so we've had a bit of a push forward here. Yuki just gone up high early. Niggling away. We were going to see the boys from Masterminds do a high defense, but Yuki was up here just raining shuriken down on them, and they've decided to take up a street low-level defense here, and that might work for them. But if Masterminds can, Tempo can get round to the right here and get high on them, that could be problematic, Doctor.
Yeah, if Tempo Storm, they've got a little bit they can get up there and take it. I don't think Tempo Storm really want to go up. They just want to engage them on this low ground here.
Little Yuki dropping in at the back with the Dragon Blade, picks up Stoltz. He's been big for them, so that's a great one. Gets the healer in Fib as well, and great play by the boys from Masterminds here, holding this point out. They've dropped it though. Tempo Storm rolling it through. I jinxed them again. Yuki and Jim Ebb are getting the last couple of kills. This card's going to roll pretty much uncontested round past the saloon.
Yeah, really good job there from Tempo Storm, going in with Yuki's Dragon Blade and boosting him there. He went straight on the backline, took out Stegs and Stoltz, taking out those 2 hit scans really early on that fight, really securing that for them there, and they're now showing this respect. They're committing on those DPS that are just getting away with a lot previously.
All right, so Yuki in here, swinging his blades around now. Hey Katie's with him as well. Mosh has pushed this forward. Tempo Storm just rolling the card through. That looks like a team down. No, one player, Jordan, just backing away here. And Mastermind, a team down there. The card pushing on to the second point. And that was a very strong street stage by the boys from Tempo.
Yeah, and Hey Katie on this hit scan McCree, showing us that, hey, you don't need to pull out a soldier. We can still bring out this McCree. And he cleaned up. They're getting about 4 kills there, opening it up for Tempo Storm. And he's just an amazing hit scan player. And now what Tempo Storm are just pushing through it. Can these 2 hit scans now compete with Hey Katie on this McCree?
All right, we're moving into the studio section of the map here. Tempo Storm rolling it around. A quick shout out, by the way, to I Am Cyber Waste, one of the greatest eSource supporters in general in Australia. And the Graviton Surge has gone down here, and they're caught up in it. But only 1 drop, 3 drop there. Twiggy with the double hammer swing. Great play indeed by Twiggy. Picks up a double. Degs and Stoltz clean up the rest. And Masterminds doing a great job there, holding that card falling back now and regrouping. Dr. Nutter, that was much better engagement by Masterminds.
Yeah, we saw Masterminds, they banked up 6 ultimates and they're like, hey, we need to go in with something. They go in, clean up. That Graviton Surge getting a little bit denied by Mosh on that diva, but now they can just rotate through what they've got as Tempo just backs completely away here.
Barriers have gone down here from both teams. And the ultimate advantage just slightly in favour. Well, it's a 2-1 now in favour of Tempo. And Masterminds again stop the push onto this cart. The limousine of death is being held up now, just coming through. Let's see what they can do with it. Oh, there goes the Graviton Surge, countered by the hammer down. Yuki going large. Dr. Nutter, that's got to be play of the round.
Yeah, just cleaning up absolutely everybody here. There's no way I think anybody's going to make it back in time. Tempo Storm have got it. Maybe touch it with the Tracer. Nah, they clean him up immediately there. That's I think he got a 6-man swing there.
Yeah. Yuki, boy oh boy, turning that one around on its ear. Dr. Nutter, that was great.
Yeah, the previous fight we saw Mastermind, they went in a little bit early. They used a few ultimate. Tempo Storm just running away there, just using a beats and a speed amp. Getting out completely safe, not losing anybody, and then going back in using that Graviton Surge, and then Yuki with that boosted Dragon Blade, just swiping away every player from Mastermind. And at a point where the payload was able to push back in with nobody able to come back with any stalls.
It's in these final days, in the finals, I should say, on a day like this, Dr. Nutter, where those individual big moments like that, where teamwork wins it, but individual moments like that really, really can turn the game.
Yeah, but that was kind of a really big team play there because you had that graviton surge,
the graviton surge,
catching I think it was 5 of their players, maybe 6 of them, and then them following up with that boost at the right time, and then just Yuki being in the right position, just dashed straight up in the air, got that boost, and then came down with that Dragon Blade, just cleaning up. That team play is absolutely huge. And on the side of it, we also see Dorky, Yuki just doing a great job individually throughout the whole map, as well as Hey Katie getting them to that point that that big combo can come out.
All right, so running through the defensive lineup, we're going to see from Tempo to try and hold out Mastermind.
Yeah, we see Yuki pulling out this Reaper. They're going to be looking to just maybe get a lot of damage off with that. We've got Ref just staying on this Lucio, really solid, does a great job on it. Jimeb on the Zaya, Dorky on Anna, Hey Katie pulling out the Soldier instead of McCree here, and Mosh on the Reinhardt.
So that's a fairly solid lineup on defense. Yuki back on the Reaper. He was Genjiing it up there for a little while. He went very large on the Reaper earlier. They're going to need it from him on this one as well. 6 seconds, we're underway. Tempo Storm defending against Masterminds. We are on the 3rd map. The winner of this one will stay in the winner's bracket. The loser will drop down into the loser's bracket and take on Aftermind.
Yeah, we'll be looking to see which team goes down, and I think both teams are doing such a great performance. And I think it might actually be Skyfire there that are in the lower
Skyfire,
bracket.
my apologies. Yeah. Now, here we go, on to the final, or the first point. Twiggy charges the brick wall just for the hell of it. And Jordan bouncing around at the front. Players swinging hammers, shooting bullets, darts flying left and center. No one's dying, though. It's a great opening stand here. Oh, Twiggy with a massive charge. Gets no one but Stoltz. Degs get a double from the distraction from it. And that might be enough. Twiggy finally gets that first kill. Ref saying to Bim, if you can Lucio a car, so can I. And it's the Refs and Bim show around the card at the moment. But Bim with his bit of a push up there bumps him away. And this is Masterminds in charge, going large, holding down this first point. Diggs and Aren, Stoltz with them now. And that's a first push take, Doctor. Pretty good.
Yeah, not even waiting there. Masterminds grouping up the front of the point and then just diving straight in there. It took a little bit. No kills came out really early on, but a lot of Tempo Storm's lineup got really low there. And then a well-placed Anna grenade there from Aaron, landing on a couple of their players, stopping the heals coming out. And that forced Yuki to wraith away. A few bubbles had to come out as well to just save their players. And then Masterminds cleaned up afterwards.
All right, Masterminds have got the car coming around now. And it's a huge engagement in front of the general store and the dry goods. The hammer goes down from Mosh, blocked though by Twiggy. He's swinging that hammer. His hammer down, picks up a triple. Can they capitalize on it? Maybe not. Jim Evan, Hey Katie are in there to slow them down. And there goes the Death Blossom at the back. 1, 2 to Yuki. That's enough. That's all they needed to break it up. And Stoltz just backing away here. He's up high. He'll retreat and go get his teammates to come with him and take this one out. Proctor, nice little tempo play.
And Twiggy got an amazing Earth Shatter there, but there was no follow-up, and Twiggy ended up dying just after he got it out. And just a great job from Tempo Storm to stay alive through that Earth Shatter, because I thought that fight was going all the way in Mastermind's favour there.
Here we go to see what Masterminds can do. They got a full team. They're caught at the archway. They've lost Twiggy early. That could be big for them. We'll wait and see. The counter sleep on the reverse Reinhardt does help for the boys from Mastermind, but losing Twiggy early, gee, that's not what they want. He's going to get a quick score, and that's very close.
Yeah, that's one difference we're seeing between Tempo Storm and Masterminds. When you see Masterminds previously, they committed in, they'd go with their ults to push in the fight. They were too far away previously, whereas you see when Tempo goes in, Mastermind's close enough they can't get away.
Graviton Surge is down. Players swinging, trying to pick up the damage on it. And we've got it is a 4 on 4. No, it's the boys from Masterminds supremely cleaning up there. Take out the entire team. Ref goes down last. And it's Twiggy pushing the cart round. Gee whiz, Dr. Nonda, that's a bit of a turnaround. Mastermind's rolling through.
Yeah, that was actually where Tempo Storm used their Graviton Search, and Masterminds used absolutely nothing, and won that off Degs getting a really key pick on Jimev there on that Zaya. Now though, Hey Katie getting Degs.
Ultimate rounds are so important now, aren't they, just to save your ultimate.
Yeah, it is really important because this 25% decrease in the speed that you'll build them up means that when you do have, you need to be really efficient. And when you've got Graviton Surges going out there from Tempo and not getting anything, and Masterminds actually winning that fight, means they can roll through this next fight with a massive ult advantage.
They can, and there it starts at the cart. The Graviton Surge has gone down. Biotic Grenade's gone as well. Mosh is doing a beautiful job. Hey, Katie with a triple. Oh, make that a quad. He's been quiet all game, Dr. Nutter, but quiet no more. He goes large on Soldier 76 here in front of the bank.
Yeah, it feels like Masterminds still are engaging a little bit early. They're a little bit far away from this fight, which is allowing Tempo Storm to react really efficiently to these engagements coming out from Masterminds, and they're just getting cleaned up a little bit much from that, and then just using their ultimates efficiently. There is an advantage here for Masterminds. They've got to hammer down, and to be on Twiggy to get an amazing hammer down and just follow them up this time.
And let's see what they can do. They're at the point here, managing to push them forward. Twiggy's taking a lot of damage, gets the shield back up. Yuki behind him, laying into him there. They push the cart round to the corner. There goes the first one. Oh, he gets dropped after it, so the hammer went down. And unfortunately, so did the Reinhardt straight after it. And that's given Masterminds the break they needed. Nice play by Masterminds there. They were patient during that battle. Hey, Katie doing his best from the plank or the sidewalk here of the saloon, just nipping off around the back. They're going to recontest, I think, though. They are. They're pushing in here to recontest. Hey, Katie's got round in front of the cart now. And wow, look at that. They pushed them right off the cart. So, Dr. Nutter, I thought Masterminds had this point, and they still might. Wait, the return is coming. Aren and Degs pick up one each. Masterminds pulling it off, maybe. The Graviton's gone down. Jordan with a double. Oh, that's what we want to see. It's all down to Yuki. I don't think Yuki's going to be able to do it. And Dr. Nutter, Masterminds, what a show.
Yeah, great job there. Aaron landing another Biotic Grenade, landing it on Mosh. They're forcing out Jimev to put a bubble on him. But then, as we saw, Stoltz went in and cleaned up that one. And then from that, Jordan was just opened up to just put out a Graviton Surge on that garbage bin there, putting all the players in except Yuki and cleaning up really well there.
Alrighty, we are into the studio stage of the map. 2 minutes and 16 seconds on the clock. 1:57 was left in the time bank from the previous round for Tempo Storm. Masterminds will be conscious of that coming through here. And doesn't look like they're going to beat that time, but they still want to cap. You've got a cap to be in it. So to speak. Here they go, pushing through, round the point now. Double Graviton Surges are down. Everyone's caught up in that. It's absolute carnage at the back point. Twiggy's still going. Hey, Katie on Twiggy. We got Yuki on Aren. Yuki too strong for Aren. Twiggy goes down outside to Hey, Katie. And with 1 minute and 41 seconds on the clock, Masterminds got their work cut out now, Doctor.
Yeah, and that fight came down to just 2v2 there, but Twiggy and Aaron were really split up there, and as we saw, just 2 DPS really efficiently cleaning up. Now, 1:30 left. If they make this, they did have the stronger first point push.
Yes. Yes, they took it in one, which was a great effort, but Tempo Storm, I think, are going to try and not let them cap it all here. Well, I guess that's the whole point of the game, but strong play from them to try and stop them capping. Mosh out in front, as he always is, swinging that massive hammer. And trying to crack some skulls through trouble. This is a very aggressive push out, though. They might have dropped the team down to only 4. They're falling back now, Dr. Nutter. They didn't want to overcommit then and get dropped with 58 seconds on the clock.
Yeah, in Hollywood here, just this last point is a lot easier to defend, and Tempo Storm making absolute use of that. They're getting these early picks on Masterminds and then chasing down a few frags and then backing off and not get overextending.
Not overextending at all. Front of the card action, this is where it's taking place. That was a great Mosh. Hammer down and they clean up. Oh, Doctor, that was perfect timing.
Yeah, but now they've got absolutely nothing left here. It actually
that's
makes
true.
Masterminds. They've got an Earth Shatter, they've got a Dragon Blade, and they're actually starting to get close to a few other ultimates. Whereas we look at Tempo Storm, Yuki's the only one anywhere near, and he's still 20% off.
We are 20 seconds in though, and it is now or never for Masterminds here versus Tempo Storm on Hollywood as they try and bring it in. Yuki at the back there gets flattened on his ass, pulls himself out of there and backs away. Mosh swinging the hammer. Mosh goes down. Oh, this is looking good. Masterminds, Twiggy drops Yuki and Katie's head in. Oh, Bim's on the card. Bim's not going to do anything. And the sound barrier, no, it's the Graviton Surge goes down. They caught them. Twiggy's at the back. Come on, Bim. Do your job. Get on the car. You are the Lucio King. And Masterminds need you now. And they've regrouped, though. They've managed to get back. Mosh changes it up to the Diva just to get the speed of in there. And then we've got the Nano boosted Degs. What can he do? 1, 2, 3. No, it's Degs going huge. The fanboys in Twitch are going to go nuts. Mastermind are pushing this card in. Can they do it? Refs is here to stop it. Hey, Katie's on it as well. It is all happening on the point. They go down. They roll it in. Oh, Dr. Nutter, what a round.
And Masterminds make it. That's a huge performance there from the end. I thought Tempo Storm were going to take it off that Graviton surge, but just in the end, Dex coming back, getting boosted, cleaning up so well. Now, back to this first point, we did see Masterminds, they had a much stronger first point push, but there is still a lot more time here left from Tempo Storm.
There is indeed. We're going to have a crack at it again now, and we will switch over and see what. I don't think we do actually switch over. We stay where we are, and we'll just see what happens for this second half of this map. I think you'd say it would be the case. And while we're waiting 48 seconds for this one to start up, Dr. Nutter, I just got to ask a question, probably of yourself and the Twitch chat as well. If it's Dix out for Xenox and it's Nuts out for Dr. Nutter, does that mean that it's Dates out for EJ?
Maybe. A little bit, not sure about that one.
You'll love a good date Sunday. And 25 seconds to get underway, although that does probably mean it's Tanks out for Genome, and I'm not really sure that's the one you want. But you never know, you're luck in a big city. 17 seconds, and we're going to get this underway. And we have the boys from Masterminds setting up their defense here. The boys from Tempo Storm, 6 seconds to go, Dr. Nutter. They're going to have to take this, I think, on the first push if they really want it. We don't want to see an overtime cart ride again.
Yeah, but though it is actually they only have to catch this first point by the fact that it went to overtime. It is on Masterminds to get a tie here or lose. And Tempo Storm, they did not have an amazing first push, but they got plenty of time here, and they did end up rolling through that first point the first time we saw them go for it. Mastermind, it's in their hands. Can they get this defense off?
All right, here we go, and the offense has come in from Tempo. They've fanned out left, coming out high onto the house above the point now. They're looking at that shiny black card. They're thinking, ooh, I'd love to touch that car. And Yuki first goes down, and it is Yuki, ladies and gentlemen, first to touch the car as they come in. Monkey's gone in as well. The shield is up. It is started in favor of them. Dex pulls one back. We have 3 down for Masterminds, though. That could be very, very costly as we come through. Twiggy's still up. That's probably the one you want there. Bim! The Master Lucio backing him up. Degs doing a great job on the Reaper at the back. They've dropped poor old Twiggy. They're down to Bim. They're down to Degs. Where's the reinforcements coming through? Stolt is here as a tracer. Jordan's in as a 76. Oh, it's all going Masterminds down at the moment. And the boys from Tempo Storm getting it strong here on the point. And we've got Twiggy back in now as a diva, but he's going to get absolutely smashed on the point there.
Yeah, it's pretty much gone here. They did push in there, and still though, I think Masterminds have performed absolutely amazingly here.
Fantastic.
They did just go down to Tempo, but I think they can take a huge amount away from them. And Tempo Storm did go in. They took it a little bit slower. They didn't go for that, like where Masterminds went in. They went in and went really huge, really quickly. Tempo Storm takes the fight a little bit slower, but a little bit safer at the same time.
All right, and we'll throw back to Xenox and the panel to break down that Tempo Storm win here. And Xenox, I'm pretty sure Masterminds will take a lot of confidence out of that into the losers bracket.
Thank you very much, EJ. Well, they have to take confidence from that in the end. They'd be a little bit disappointed that they almost had it in their grasp to take down Tempo Storm and have a bit of an easier path towards the grand final, realistically. But, as you said, taking confidence into that one. Genome heading now into the losers bracket, but with confidence.
Oh, I had like a shudder of revulsion as I watched that play of the game there. That was so filthy by Yuki. Oh, man. Look, apart from that, I really thought that Tempo Storm, look, they did it in the end, but they're not looking the strong #1 solid seed that we thought they are they? They struggled there. They only barely got the 2-1 victory. I liked their retake there at the end, getting the biotic grenade on a couple of people and then calling the go. The Winston went in. They managed to cap that first point pretty easily there at the end. It was a good job. The other thing I'd like to point out is they did a really good job of turning fights around with Death Blossoms. So what would happen is, Stoltz would pop his Dragon Blade or something like that. They'd have an offensive ult from Masterminds. He'd get a couple of picks, but then Yuki or Heikadi, whichever one of them was playing on the Reaper, they'd come in on the cart at that point, pop a Death Blossom out of nowhere and just get like 4 kills and turn the fight around. So the way they used that Death Blossom was really cool. And the one other thing I'll touch on was the strength of Soldier staying alive. Soldier 76, we're seeing him so much in the meta right now, and there's so many times that after an engagement, he will be able to get out just because of that sprint ability and allow, his team such a big advantage by him pushing in with the next wave of respawns.
Guyma, we've spoken about, I guess, confidence for Masterminds. What did Tempo take out of this sort of game? They didn't put in, I guess, a flash performance, but they still came out with the win. And I guess from their end, they would be feeling like, okay, we didn't play our best, but we still moved on forward. What do they take out of this game?
I think for them, because they are such experienced players, they'll just be able to, look at their mistakes, be like, how can we improve this going forward? They do get a break now before their next match, which means they'll have the time to think through and then, be able to figure out the way forward. And it does seem like they are improving. I would say that they have played successively better going forward. So maybe in the next match we could see an entirely new Tempo.
And of course, going into the next couple of rounds, we've got the winners bracket and we've got the losers bracket. The winners bracket will be Tempo Storm versus Aftermind. But coming up after the break will be Masterminds GC versus Skyfire in the losers bracket. And Gino, it's a big game because you lose, you're out.
Yeah, everyone here still going away with some prizes, though, courtesy of XSplit and Zowie. However, the Skyfire versus Masterminds game, as you say, it's going to be an elimination one, but Masterminds, I feel like they're going to have a lot of positivity on their side coming out from such a strong performance against Tempo Storm there.
We will have a short break as we do a bit of a changeover with the teams. Of course, Skyfire versus Masterminds will be on after this break. I'd like to thank the sponsors, Zowie, Strive for Perfection, Split Media Labs, whose products we use, XSplit, Challenge, and Player.me, and Plantronics, the leading headset provider for GameStar. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after the break.